Hey everybody, welcome back to We Are Podcast. You're listening to We Are Bagu Season 1, Episode 10, Gaming News Catch-Up, May 2020, featuring Will Cennamo and Jay McClintock. If this is your first time listening, thank you so much for checking out the channel. Please head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, or iTunes, and give We Are Podcast a like. Also, if you get a chance, head over to our social media. All links can be found in the description. With that said, on to the podcast.
We Are Bagu.
Hey everybody, welcome to We Are Bagu. This is Duck. I am here with
Ethan.
Dr. Ethan E, baby. That's right. And today we have two very special guests. The dynamic duo of Will Cennamo. Hi, Will.
Hey, everybody.
And Jay McClintock. Hey, Jay.
Hey.
And we are going to do gaming news roundup. So it has been a couple weeks, so there's lots of gaming news happening, and we want to talk about that. So real quick, what is We Are Bagu? It's a video game podcast. We talk Atari to Steam and everything in between. So hopefully we have lots of stuff we're going to bring to the table today. So we're going to start first with our Dr. Ethan E. Ethan, what is your first story?
Y'all see that Unreal Engine 5 demo? Please tell me you did.
I didn't
Yes,
see it.
sir.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Holy
That was one of mine.
shit.
All right, well, I did not see it, so explain to me what the heck happened.
Epic released about a 9-10 minute long video that was showcasing their new Unreal Engine 5 on PS5 hardware of all things. And it looks amazing, dude.
So what was the game they used to show it off? Or was it just the...
It was made up.
It was their own
something new?
in-house demo.
And when did they release this?
I think a little under a week ago, as
Yeah.
of the recording of this. What was really stupid impressive, though, is the amount of detail that they had in all of the different models on the screen. There's billions and billions and billions of tiny triangles and just about every little thing on the screen. The particle effects were amazing. The lighting was off the chain. Oh, it was so cool. And they do commentary throughout the whole demo explaining, oh yeah, we did this and we tweaked the engine to do this or that and this is new. And one of the things that really just blew my mind was there was hundreds of billions of triangles. In 3D game development, every model is made up of hundreds of thousands of millions of these little triangles, and they make the actual models that you see. And more triangles, more detail. The fact that they had hundreds and hundreds of billions of them right there, oh, dude, it was damn near photorealistic. If you haven't seen it, go see it for yourself.
And that's the thing with Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine 4 alone looks fucking realistic to me. Like, I
It's
sometimes
unreal.
cannot distinguish. And I love whenever people actually start developing things. Like, there's a lot of people who are working on Ocarina of Time, Unreal Engine. And it's unbelievable to see what Link looks like in that environment using Unreal. It just blows my mind every time I see it.
I've been on this journey with Unreal probably since, like, I want to say freshman year of college. All us nerds, like, instead of going out and partying, we'd literally go play Unreal Tournament. And so, like, that engine in general, just from there, and it might have even before that, it just revolutionized a lot of stuff. So it literally nothing they can do could ever really surprise me, like in a negative way. Everything they do, it just keeps getting better and better. Like, I've just never seen the hiccup yet.
Absolutely.
This is like another example of that.
Yep. Ditto. Like that's literally what I was going to say. I remember Unreal Tournament and just the awe-dropping that was back in the day, and now it just keeps doing the same thing. It just keeps getting more and more impressive, and to actually see it running was very cool. It was kind of a Tomb Raider ripoff, but they made it up for it, and it looked amazing. And yeah, I want that to be a real game, to be honest.
Does anyone know, like, all the games that this engine is, like, attached to? It's got to be, like, hundreds.
Oh, there's a ton of
way
them.
more.
There's a lot more companies that are using Unreal these days and even switching and bringing their games over from something else to Unreal. Kingdom Hearts, for the longest time, had their own thing they were running on, and they brought Kingdom Hearts 3 over to Unreal 4.
I mean,
And it
if
looks
something's
amazing.
working, why not use it? You know, and it's working. It's working great.
Will, what's your first story, good sir?
Let's talk about PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now. So today, I believe it was today, they announced that PlayStation Plus has hit the most active users ever. Since January, they've added 2.7 million new subscribers. And PlayStation Now has also added 2.2 million subscribers, which gives them a grand total of 41.5 million paid subscribers to
Holy
PlayStation
shit.
services. So that is a huge number. That's higher than any of the other ones. And yeah, they are trending well. So this whole disease is working out great for them. This virus is working out great for them.
Yeah, I'm still
People
convinced
stuck at
that
home.
I'm still convinced Nintendo created the Corona to get people to buy Switches, but evidently it was Sony the whole time.
They ran out.
It was all of them in agreement.
Yeah. So
guys, video games are going downhill. What are we gonna do?
Yeah. Release a virus. Get it out there.
Let's make us relevant again.
So what is PlayStation Now?
PlayStation Now is essentially a Netflix service, is a good way to put it, for PlayStation. So you can play old PlayStation 4 games, PlayStation 3 games, and I don't know if there's any 2s on there, but it's essentially Xbox does the same thing called Game Pass, where you can just download certain games and just play them for whatever the monthly subscription is, which I think is $19.99. I might be wrong on that though. I use Game Pass for the PC, the Xbox one, and it's $5 for the PC only. And yeah, there's like 300 games in there. I can just download and play at any time.
Sounds like a GameFly destroyer.
Does GameFly even exist anymore?
Yeah, they're
does,
still
yeah.
around.
It's like Blockbuster.
Yeah.
It's out there.
How many people did you say were subscribed to PS Plus?
41.7 million.
Oh
to
my
all- to
god!
PlayStation. Yeah,
And
it's
at
crazy.
minimum, they're paying $20
$10,
a month,
I think, a month?
$10 a month or something like that.
PlayStation Plus is like 90 or I think 80. Like I think it's now 79.99 a year.
60.
Oh, okay, whatever. But
Yeah.
I mean,
Still, that
Times,
many
you know.
people paying for that? Holy shit! They get my $60 every year.
Yeah.
me too. Even though these May games they let out were questionable.
Yeah, the
What were the
farming-
releases?
Farming Simulator and City
Oh,
Skyline.
I was thinking next month. City Skylines is okay, but I wouldn't want to play it on a console. Like, I like
Yeah.
it on my PC.
And I would say pound for pound, I think Xbox just wipes its ass with what PlayStation puts out on a monthly basis. Pound for pound. Pound for pound. I've gotten Castlevania Symphony of the Night on Xbox. And then, like, PlayStation Plus 1 month, I got this weird game about a troll.
Yeah, they put out some weird shit. Occasionally they'll have a hit. Like, I love the month where they put Dead by Daylight out for free, or
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's shit.
the
I mean, I'm
Uncharted
not-
series. That was a good one. But
Speaking of Dead by Daylight, totally forgot to bring this up. We might know somebody who recently had a meeting with the developers of the game. And
That's me.
hey, Will, how did that meeting go?
how did that meeting go, Will?
It went great. I can tell you that I met with them, and they are lovely people, and I know everything about the new pack, and you will know everything about the new pack on the 26th at 3 p.m.
Nice.
Fuck's sake!
And that is all the more he can say because he signed an NDA.
That is correct.
That's awesome. All right, Jay, what you got for your first news story?
Well, I wasn't really going for stories. Like everything I wanted to talk about was like roundtable. Like I want to like stir the pot a little bit. This is a fun one. This is the one we can kind of like gripe a little bit about. I want to know what game series is pretty widely beloved that you could really give two shits about.
Assassin's Creed.
Call of Duty.
Oh, Halo. I don't give two fucks about Halo.
Oh.
I can't stand Halo. Halo's dumb. I don't get why people like it. I've never enjoyed it. I've never had fun playing it. It's a bullshit game. Metroid
Okay, so
Prime
then-
all the way. Like, fuck that game.
It's got me in some heat. Legend of Zelda.
Oh, bro, you and
Namaste.
Ethan need to switch windows to this side because I know Will and me are on the same, like, loving Zelda side.
Like graphically, I have never been impressed by a single Zelda game. The one time that I really almost saw myself getting like kind of pumped for it was in the year 2000.
In the year 2000.
20 years ago, they released this teaser gameplay footage of what it was going to look like on the GameCube.
Mhm.
And then they bust out the GameCube one, and it's literally like they turned Link into a Teletubby. And it was so... like, it was so like...
Good sir,
Yeah.
Wind Waker is a fucking work of art. What are you talking about?
It's a work of something. But the thing is that but like they really pull the fast one on the Zelda fans. And me, as just someone who was like, might be interested, I was like, well, no. They didn't even surprise me with doing that. I'm like, yeah, but don't worry. Zelda fans will eat this up and they'll try to convince you that it's better than what they had planned. And I was like, ugh. But I mean, that's my only thing.
Now, have you ever played a Zelda game?
I've tried. Like I'll get like 5 minutes into it, and then I'll be like, okay. Give me Mario. Give me something else. Like,
I'm not even going to rebuttal. I don't think we should rebuttal because we'd have this long debate. I can't get on board with that. I'm sorry.
I have one question. I have one rebuttal.
Go ahead.
Is it based strictly on the graphical look of it, or
No. It's not. It's not just that. It's just. I guess it just was never my cup of tea. You know, RPGs in general. I think I've told you this, Will. Is that I always thought I wasn't smart enough for a lot of RPGs. And granted, I mean, Legend of Zelda it's like a tweener RPG. It's not like a turn-based thing. You know, it's just that, and I guess it never really like hit me because I like fantasy games. I really like fantasy games. You know what I think it might have been? I think it might be that bird's eye view. I think that just kind of maybe wasn't my bag.
Hey, I can't stand the third-person camera that's on the side. I don't mind it right here.
Dead Space
it's over
style?
here. Yeah, it bugs me. Or Gears of War. I hated Gears of War.
I can't stand that.
The Batman Arkham series, I had to play it crouched because when you crouch, it moves the camera.
Right.
So I would always crouch everywhere.
Well, shit. All right. Well, Halo, realistically, I just can't get behind it. I've never enjoyed it. Okay, I'm lying. Multiplayer once or twice while drinking heavily. I enjoyed. Drinking.
Is it Halo or all FPSs?
heavily. No, just Halo. Just couldn't get behind it. I don't know what it was. I think it's, like you said, the aesthetic of it. I just didn't like it. I thought it looked lazy and just kind of basic in a lot of ways. And you say that about Zelda. I'm like, how could you think that? Surely you guys feel the same way about Halo. So something about it. And it's probably like we talked about on Metroid cast. It is most likely a loyalty thing because I'm a Nintendo fanboy. And Metroid Prime was the only competitor with Halo. And as a multiplayer game, Metroid Prime 2 failed miserably. But I guess I never got into it, and I wanted to, and there's been a long time where I've considered playing Halo from the beginning and trying to get into it, because I think there's something there. I just never got to experience it the way everyone else did, so the nostalgia aspect of it is non-existent to me.
The story's good up through Halo Reach, but really what makes it amazing is multiplayer, and for that you need people to play it with that you know. Because I love that game to death. I put weeks of time into that game.
That's the other thing.
It was all in multiplayer and Forge.
The learning curve is through the fucking roof. And I'm sorry, I get into multiplayer and people just fucking kill me left and right. That's not fun. I'm sorry, it's not fun for me. I suck at the game.
What learning curve? It's go find a gun and shoot.
I understand that. I got slaughtered a bunch of times too. That might be another one. Like if I'm not good at something, like I'll be like, okay, well, I may equate that with not liking it because like, and I'll admit it's like, oh, there's a skill there that I ain't gotten. With Halo, you're right. There's people that are just brutally good.
Yes.
I like battle royale games, but I hate Apex Legends. I hate it.
Was that the game you just said that you couldn't get behind?
Call of Duty.
What is it? What is it about Call of Duty?
It's just boring to me. Like I don't mind war games. I don't know what it is, but every one I've ever tried, I was like, nah, I'm good. And then Warzone came out, another battle royale, and like Jay said, that game's too smart for me. But I'll get down on Fortnite any time of the week.
I think it's just first-person shooter games just aren't your thing, Will.
Yeah, I think that might be it.
What was your game again, Ethan?
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I can't get behind Assassin's Creed at all, but I've never even played it.
Swear by it.
Yeah. Has anyone else played it and enjoyed it?
I played 2. I really enjoyed number 2, and then every other one I've played, I get a couple hours in and I'm over it.
And what was the issue, Ethan? You said the controls?
Its controls are ass. Its story is horrible. The only one that I really started playing all the way through, because I've given a bunch of them a chance, but Assassin's Creed 3 was the one that I really started getting into. And I kept getting really annoyed that it would go, oh, you can't go here yet because your mission is this way. It's like, no, I want to go over here. I want to explore and see what these colonial people are doing and stab them. And no, I don't give a fuck about Desmond Miles and this stupid apple.
No,
stop taking me out of the Animus.
There's always too many escort missions in that game where it's like, walk with me, and it's like, no, I don't want to.
No, I want to jump from building to building and be stealthy.
I want to look cool.
So I'm going to move on to my little bit of news. This happened on April 23rd, so I'm a little bit behind. But speaking of Fortnite, Will, did you see the Travis Scott virtual concert that was watched by 12 million players in the Battle Royale mode? Have you guys seen this?
I absolutely did. Yeah, I was one of those 12 million.
I thought you might have been. Good, sir. Okay, as a person who was not there and just watched the video of this concert, first of all, I don't care about Fortnite at all. Don't give a fuck, other than the fact that my nephew likes it and I buy him the toys and he thinks I'm awesome. That's about it. And he talks about this shit all the time. I have no idea what he's talking about, but he teaches me what it is and explains it to me. I watched the IGN video of this concert, this virtual concert, and the concept of virtual concerts is relatively new. They've done a couple, I believe, in Fortnite, and I think there was another one, another game that's kind of like an MMORPG kind of game that did Korn Concert, which is interesting, where it just plays the actual, Korn track, and this has it. First of all, I don't know who Travis Scott is, but this concert was one of the coolest fucking things I have ever seen video-wise. I got sucked into it to the point where I felt guilty for not playing Fortnite. I'm like, I am fucking missing out. It is psychedelic and trippy and weird. And what was that experience like? Well, I'm telling you, go watch this video and then listen to Will's experience. I can't even imagine.
It was really cool because they've done this before. They did this with Marshmello, the DJ, and all it was a character of Marshmello sitting behind a DJ setup, and then the music going on. There was some fancy lights and stuff. But when you got into this one, it brought you into the you go into the stage area, and it was like oh my god, like they really upped the game on this, and it made me a Travis Scott fan. Like I've never really gotten into his music or anything, but he's on my Spotify playlist now. You know what I mean? Because it was just so
dope. Yeah.
Impressive. And the fact that you got to just kind of run around and look at what you wanted to look at during this whole crazy thing going on around you. It brought you underwater. It brought you into space. Like it was dope. It was one of the dopest things I've ever seen.
Psychedelic trip, dude. It's insane because of the way it begins. This like vessel just comes in and it drops down this 100-foot wrapper, and it's just you're looking up at him, and then all of a sudden the music hits boom, and you just get blown into the air. And there's these as the songs transition. The setting transitions, the character's literally running back towards the concert. They were blown so far away, and he's dissipating over the map. All I could think the whole time I'm watching it is when virtual reality becomes a thing within 10 to 15 years, this is how concerts will be experienced. And if I could have had a VR headset watching this, it would have been one of the most epic experiences of my life. This video blew my fucking mind. So I can't even imagine having control. And my question was, in the video I watched, there was some semblance that there were other character or players in Fortnite there. When you played it, Will, were there a lot of people around you, or did it seem like it was kind of sporadic? They would pop in and out.
I think that they trimmed it down to 50 people per, instance
Concert.
or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it seemed like, they weren't like in the way, but yeah, it seemed like there was a ton of, because when we got blown up or whatever, you could see everyone else and wherever they are. And yeah, it was dope, dude.
You guys
I'm ready for the next one.
Yeah,
I was excited.
They sold it to me, dude. I'm going to create a Fortnite character so I can go to the next concert because I don't want to miss it. Because I know that sounds stupid, but it looks like it was an experience. I got FOMO watching it, hardcore.
Well, one thing, because they did do another concert, and it was the Party Royale reveal, right? Like it's basically an island where you don't kill each other. There's just stuff to do. Like you can practice skydiving and all that. Well, they were like, Party Royale's open. We're going to have this huge DJ set. So I got into there to do that. And it was literally a big TV, and everyone just kind of sat around and watched it on a TV, and it was weird because it was nowhere near as cool.
Yeah. Well,
but it was live, which was neat. So like the DJs or whatever were yelling at us in real time, but it wasn't anything.
I couldn't get over how epic it was. Like it was like going to a Guar concert in Fortnite. Like it was just an experience, man, and I felt like I missed out big time. All right, Ethan, what's your next bit of news there? What you got?
Oh, this one's a fun one. I know this might be not in y'all's generation here, but did y'all know of the game Club Penguin?
Yep.
Never heard of it.
No, what's that?
It was a online kids game. It was originally its own thing, and then Disney bought it. And essentially, it's you create a little penguin. You click and the penguin moves around the map. You can play mini games, earn coins, dress your penguin up, all this stuff. It's a kid's game. And it got very social. It got taken offline in 2017, but its source code leaked out. And so since then, people have had their own private servers and been remaking it, bringing it back online, and people have been spiritually keeping this game alive. Well, one such service, Club Penguin Online, they got the banhammer brought down on them by Disney themselves because they took off the chat filters, in which it was then filled with racist, anti-Semitic, and sexual messages.
Of course.
And one person that was even associated with the website was arrested for having child pornography.
That'll do
Of course they were.
So.
Well, shit. Well, any opinions on that other than child pornography is bad? I don't know what to say.
Kitty porn is bad, okay?
Shouldn't be playing Bad Club Penguin, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Fuck it.
Okay.
All right. Well, what you got next?
I want to talk about Animal Crossing.
Yay, no child pornography in that, right?
Well, not yet.
What are you
Give them
doing?
time. All right, what you got on Animal Crossing?
So a gentleman by the name of Gary Whitta has created a talk show inside of Animal Crossing called Animal Talking. He does it live on Twitch, I think, every Wednesday, and also you can find it on his YouTube channel, of course, all the past ones. But it has gotten so big that he's had Elijah Wood, T-Pain, Danny Trejo, like all these celebrities are coming into this show. He has a fake little late night setup. He's got a drum kit and a guy who hits the drums every once in a while. He's got his sidekick buddy, and they come in and they have actual talk show chats, kind of like Quarantine Wise. And it's gotten so popular that Danny Trejo actually is getting his own section inside the show.
What?
So every episode will have a little Danny Trejo moment, and it's just their characters in Animal Crossing. So T-Pain came out, and he, had crazy hair, and he had like a rapper shirt. It's the cutest, most enjoyable little show to watch.
That's insane.
So I wanted to highly
awesome.
recommend that.
Wow. What were you going to say, Jay?
No, I mean, I've talked to Austin about Animal Crossing, and he has gone on record as at least telling me that he says it might be his favorite game he's ever played.
Ever? Wow.
Yeah.
And I think, obviously, I don't have a Switch, and I'll talk about that when my topic comes around. It seems like in these times where everything's super depressing and, like, there's literally not a good news article to save your life, I think Animal Crossing, like, really gives people, like, an outlet just to, like, have a little cutesy in the world. And I think it's really bringing a lot of people together. And I think that it goes for its success.
Perfect game for the perfect time.
For sure.
Definitely release at the right time. I mean, even up at Addison right now, we have a coworker who plays it the whole time, the whole shift. You know what I mean? Maybe I shouldn't say that on here, but
Yeah.
he does.
I know all about this, Jack.
Yeah, my bad. I'll edit that out. As I was saying it, I was like, well, she's playing it.
And I'll say, you can thank Dunk for this.
You know what? You're fired. Listen to this episode.
And it'll just be a point.
Excellent point. All right, go ahead, Jay. Or unless anyone else has anything else about Animal Crossing.
I mean, I could talk for days, but no, we're good.
Hey everyone, it's just Duck jumping in here to say thank you so much for checking out the podcast today. If you're enjoying it, head on over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, iTunes, and give We Are Podcast a like. Also, you can check out our social media. All links can be found in the description. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at /We Are Podcast. And with that, back to gaming news.
All right, go ahead, Jay. What's your next roundtable you want to do?
Okay. The next thing I want to talk about was just gouging in general. So apparently some kid up in Virginia created this bot called BirdBot so that him and his friends could find switches that were available so they could have one. Well, apparently, he went on some forum and basically showed people the code to create this bot. So it's created this massive shortage, along with the fact that a lot of the production of the switches are in China. That's part of the problem. But the other part of the problem is that there's such a massive shortage that they're creating this demand where switches are now going for like $600 and
$700. Yeah.
Like, I did find out today on Best Buy, if you just refreshed for 20 minutes, eventually you might actually get through to their thing. But it's just like, it really reminds me a lot, speaking of the year 2000, reminds me a lot of what happened with the PlayStation 2. That PlayStation 2 was literally selling for upwards of like $1,500. And people were paying for it because it was brand new. As a matter of fact, it caused policy change in eBay after some guy bought like PlayStation 2 for $1,500, and the guy sent him 150 pictures of a PlayStation 2, and he got away with it.
What a dick move. Jesus.
But it worked. But it's just like, man, I'm holding off. I'm going to get a Switch as soon as it goes back to normal out of principle. But
yeah, I'm actually doing the same thing. But funny you mentioned that. My sister and her girlfriend bought a Nintendo Switch, and they swear up and down, oh no, we got it at a good price. And it's like, well, you paid $350 for a Switch. It didn't come with any games. It was used, and sure, it was in good condition, but you don't know what the fuck that person did to it beforehand. And on top of that, you're overpaying at least $75 for a Switch.
He raped that Switch. On top of that, that actually blends into my next subject, which is the Ring Fit thing that they're having issues with right now. They're evidently the Ring Fit band is available, but the game itself is not, which I don't quite understand. Have you heard this, Will? I don't know.
I have not. No.
This is what I've heard, that Ring Fit, they were trying to produce more of the game or the band. I can't remember which one it was, but they're not available. So those are being price gouged along with the Switch because everyone's at home and they're bored, and everyone seems to love this game. And Nintendo has a history of this happening with a lot of their consoles. Whether scarcity is done on purpose or not, I'm not sure. But Nintendo never knows because they usually have a big hit console. Like the Wii was a huge hit.
They kind of got a history of it.
Yes, right
People
there.
killed
the
each
Wii,
other over these things.
100% was one of those consoles. And then the Nintendo Mini was another one that was a huge hit that no one could get. So where does Nintendo fall? You know, they'll go and have a bad console sales such as GameCube or Wii U, and then they'll have the Wii, the Mini, I mean, even the original Nintendo, like, it happens. And so who knows what's going to be a hit, you know? And it's just, if you're willing to pay for it, you're willing to pay for it. It's not like the sanitizer thing or anything like that. It's just a video game console.
I don't feel like the Switch was done on purpose. I think it was all just time-based. I feel the Wii was 100% done on purpose. They purposely underproduced and undersold just to get that demand. But I think the Switch just happened to hit the right timing. You know, they still have the Switch Lights, but they're just not as cool.
And that's the thing is, actually, me and Jay talked about this the other day. Like I said, well, you could get a Switch Lite. And he goes, I don't want a Switch Lite.
Yeah.
He goes, I want a dock. I want to have it on my TV. And I was like, that's a valid point.
I never play it on my TV, but I still don't want a Switch Lite.
You want the option, right? Just in case.
I want the option to not do it.
Yeah. That's exactly it. That's exactly right.
Well, that kind of played into what I want to talk about, so that gets rid of one of my things.
Don't buy a Switch yet. Just wait for him to come back in stock and this shit to blow over. Yeah. Please.
I waited a year for a PlayStation 2, and I only paid $300 for mine. I got no problem.
You didn't get 150 photocopied pictures of a PlayStation 2?
Such a dick move.
No, I'm the one who sent that.
We got him! We got him! Kind of on the Mini thing, though, Konami is releasing soon a TurboGrafx 16 Mini, and it will launch in North America on May 22nd. The TurboGrafx being the 8-bit console from the 80s that barely sold anything and is mostly known for carrying on what it was called the PC Engine in Japan, the precursor to Castlevania Symphony of the Night known as Rondo of Blood.
I thought it was a 16-bit. That's why it was called the TurboGrafx 16.
Oh, you're correct. It is a 16-bit system. My bad. Obviously. I'm an idiot. Anyhow, the mini console.
Finally, we can play Bonk.
Exactly. The mini console.
Zonk.
It will be released for $99.99. They have delayed it. The main games will have 50 built-in titles with games such as Bomberman 93. And I'm sure Bonk 1, 2, and 3 will be on there. I'm not a huge fan, but have you guys ever played any games on the TurboGrafx?
The game, Splatterhouse.
Oh, yes.
Okay, I'll give you Splatterhouse.
That's on there. Or the only game that, was because Splatterhouse 2 hit the Sega Genesis. But you've played the original?
Yeah. I think Splatterhouse 2 was on there, too.
How is it?
It's amazing. It's just a fun game. It's probably like when they gloat about their graphic capabilities, like Splatterhouse is pretty much their crown jewel. But and also that Castlevania game, was it Rondo of Blood?
Yeah, it's awesome.
But theirs is like Demon Castle. There's like a very, very long Japanese name, and that one's considered like the definitive version of that.
Oh, it's great. They released it on the Wii Virtual Console late into the life of the Wii, and then if you get the PSP Castlevania Dracula X Chronicles, it's actually on there too, because that's a remake of it, but the original version's on there too. It's a little bit different than the original port, but the Wii version is an actual port of the PC Engine version of that. I played Bonk's Adventure and I think a car game on the original TurboGrafx 16. And I mean, it's a fun console. I mean, the controller kind of looks like a Nintendo controller. I love the cards and how they slide in. And, you know, if I was super interested in collecting that, I would definitely drop the $100. But I'm more interested in the Sega Mini at this point, so I need to get a hold of one of those. All right, Ethan, what's your next bit of news?
Man, I'm excited. There's a remaster of a game that I didn't know I wanted until they said they were going to remaster it. On October 31st of 2003, SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom, released on PS2, Xbox, GameCube, PC, and Game Boy Advance. And for some fucking reason, they're remaking that game. And it will release June 23rd of this year, and you bet your ass I will be buying that as soon as it hits store shelves.
So I'm taking it you played that quite a bit when you were a youngin'.
Oh, yeah. It's a fun 3D platformer. The PC and Game Boy versions of it we don't talk about, but the PlayStation, Xbox, and GameCube was an awesome 3D platformer. You play as SpongeBob, Patrick, Sandy, bounce around. They each have different abilities. You fight robots, cool bosses, fun mini games. It's a good time, man. So
How is SpongeBob not dead after 25 years almost? Is that what we're looking at? Was it come out in like 98 or something like that? Maybe 2000?
Because Nickelodeon keeps him locked up, barely fed alive, and they will not let him die with Steven Hillenburg.
Isn't the show over? I thought the show was over. Oh.
They will never let SpongeBob die. They are making too much money off that.
That's the new Mickey Mouse, man. SpongeBob is where it's at. Like, Viacom, they're never going to let go of that bad boy. And I love SpongeBob. I really do. I'm still a fan, and I probably always will be a fan, especially the first couple seasons of that show. Fucking tight. But never got into the video games. Do you guys have any opinions on SpongeBob or the video games?
That game he's talking about, the whatever, Bikini Bottom, when it came out, I remember a lot of people compared it to Mario 64. They thought it was kind of a,
it's very similar.
Wheelhouse. Oh, yeah, of course. But they said as far as, like, imitations, quote-unquote, it's easily one of the best versions of an imitation. They found a way to really make it their own, and which is rare for licensed titles, because most of the time, like, movies and things like that and cartoons and anything of that nature, when you translate them to video games, a lot of times they're kind of weak. But that one they said was a pretty good achievement, I remember. I missed the SpongeBob train, personally. I think I was just a little too old at the time.
Yeah, I was right on the fringe of it. I think you're a couple years older than me, so I could understand that. But I got caught right at the end, and plus I had a little brother who was wicked into it, and I think that helped. My brother's about Ethan's age, and he loved it. So that kind of added into it. But I'm telling you, there's so much going on in that show that is absolutely hysterical, and it's still great. Good. Will, you got anything on SpongeBob?
No.
All right. Fair enough. All right. Will, what's your next bit of news?
Okay, well, we're down to my last one. I'm just going to say that right now.
Okay.
Let's talk about aliens.
There he is! There he is!
On this side.
And
let's talk about aliens.
All right, what about aliens?
First off, Grand Theft Auto 5 recently released for free on the PC under the Epic Game Store. I think you have about 4 more days to pick that up. So even if you can't play it, go click, buy, and you'll get it for free, and you can download it whenever you can play it. And Grand Theft Auto Online has been invaded by aliens. One user, whose name I can't find now, decided him and his little gang dressed up in the little alien body forms that they had and just started beating up random people with baseball bats. So there was an alien gang who got in these green forms just beating up people, and it lasted about maybe 3 days, right? They started posting their videos on TikTok, on Instagram, all those things. And then suddenly everybody started getting into the aliens. But there's also a purple bodysuit alien. So suddenly people started joining clans. And
no
right now,
way.
In Auto Online, there are purple and green aliens. There's rules. You can only do melee. And they just meet up and they beat the crap out of each other. Rockstar has jumped right on this bandwagon. They started giving away the bodysuits for free, but you still have to find like baseball bats and things like that. And then they had a special day, I think it was last week, as of this recording, where they decided it's war day, and everyone who logged in was instantly given one of the suits, and they were just told to go at it.
That
and
is
essentially the entire day
awesome.
was fighting aliens.
That's fucking cool.
Oh, dude, that's so good. Purge, man.
That's essentially what it was.
Do you think this changes the face of the game and something comes out of this? Or do you think it's just a small event that's going to happen and nothing further?
I think it's a small event, and then they're just going to try to jump on the next bandwagon like as quick as they can. Rockstar is what I'm talking about. They're just going to try to be like, okay, well, what can we make that people want to do that again? So I think they'll try to come up with like different outfits that it's going to work. But I don't know that it's going to be as big as this one was again, just because this was something that happened naturally. And whenever companies start jumping in on something that happened naturally, it never really works out for them. It's like when mom and dad say, "Oh, that band's cool," you stop liking that band.
Rockstar's a really cool parent, though. Like, as far as, like I remember like when people were modding, like, was it San Andreas, and they were like, "Cool, right on."
Yeah, do it.
Hey, you want a job? You know, it's like one of those things. So, I mean.
And like you said, there's by the time this goes out, it'll probably be 1 day left to get the game. But get it. But once again, they're always giving out free games on Epic and Steam. So go get your free games. Hit the button. It's so simple. And then it's in your library. And then whenever you're ready to play it, go play it. It's so
People have released some leaks that they think are the next big one. The next big one they're saying is going to be Civ 6, which is
that's a great game. That is a great game.
Hopefully today, when you listen to this, you can go get Grand Theft Auto, and then tomorrow you can grab Civ 6.
That would be awesome. All right, Jay, what's your next round table? We're going to consider this the bonus round.
Okay, so this one is kind of an interesting, question. As far as from a gaming standpoint, do y'all have like a game that you have that's actually like pretty valuable? Like, or what is your most valuable game that you own?
Ethan looking right up at it.
I have an old Dungeons and Dragons Genesis cart, but it's not worth anything. It was worth something for me.
Yeah. When you say valuable, do you mean like monetary value, or are you talking like just personal value?
No, monetary. I'm about that cash.
Okay. For me, it'd probably be this bad boy. Yeah. I have a complete collector's edition of Metroid Prime Trilogy. In-box, all art booklets, instructions, and it still fucking works. And the case actually isn't in bad condition either.
Yeah.
That one's goes for about $150, I think.
I think so. That sounds about right.
I was looking into it because I just got my Wii in today. And so, I was looking at Metroid Trilogy. And I was like, that's...
It's good, too.
Yeah, I hear it's up there.
I have a $120 board game. Does that count?
Sure.
Hey, yeah, doesn't that count? So what's that? What's that board game?
It's called Gloomhaven. It's basically a giant role-playing game, like a tabletop role-playing game, but it's made into a tabletop board game, and it's branching quests, lots of minis, lots of mystery, and you just follow a whole thing. Mechanically, it's one of the best board games I've ever played. I did not pay $120 for it, though.
I really don't think I have anything that's worth any money. Like, I'm more of a digital person. And
I would say you've got that Dreamcast though. I was
thinking the Dreamcast is the only one, but I only paid $60 for that bad boy. So
what kind of Dreamcast do you have? What kind of Dreamcast?
It's the one that plays burnt disc. So I mean, it's worth a lot to me. I got a lot of burnt disc. I don't know what to say.
I thought Dreamcast lets you play all sorts of stuff like that.
But it has to be a certain model of it, and if it's not the last model they put out, you're fucked. You can't do that.
Yeah, they forgot to add DRM.
What was it? What's DRM?
That's the protective things that read on the disc that say this is legal.
Yeah.
Have y'all ever heard of Bleem?
Oh yeah, because you can run stuff on Bleem. Yeah, Bleem will run the PlayStation games on there. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like if that doesn't just shit all over,
They used to sell it. We're actually going to do a podcast about that eventually. They used to sell Bleem in GameStop, or maybe it was Electronic Boutique. I can't remember, but they sold that on shelf, and that was a huge legal battle between PlayStation and them, and they actually were able to get past that and sell it. I think they pulled it, and by the time they were able to get back on the shelf, it was no good anymore because they moved on to the next consoles. But it was wicked interesting.
Well, I think they got away with it because with Bleem, they were just selling a product. What you did with it is your choice.
Exactly.
It's kind of like Roku sticks when they're housebroken with torrent software. It's the same thing. It's what you do with it is more
action replays, Game Sharks, Game Genies, same thing.
So Jay, what do you got that's worth the cash?
See, Ethan, you got a fun story. You got a game that's part of a legacy. You got Metroid. I mean, was it Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, and then Metroid Prime 3 Corruption?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I've been looking into them. I have Prime and Corruption. I haven't jumped on Echoes yet, but I mean, you have the trilogy. And is that trilogy game, is it one overall story arc too? Is that so it's one of the selling points is that you get this, it's almost like a Mass Effect kind of thing?
More or less, yeah. Each one does have its own self-contained story, but there's antagonists and enemies and things that carry over throughout all of them that kind of connects them.
And
It's
how much did you
fucking
pay
cool.
for that?
I actually got it years ago when it came out. I think I paid $50-$60.
That's a good investment. My story takes us back to 2002. Dreamcast games were easy to come by, I'll say, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
Like, you could go to Best Buy and you could spend like $100, and I'm not joking when I say you could probably get close to 20 or 30 games. New, in box, whatever.
Yeah.
Damn.
And so I kind of came over this bad boy. I don't know if any of y'all ever heard of it. I'm going to show it up real quick. Maybe y'all can see it. This game right here.
Illbleed. Oh, yeah, dude.
What is it?
Illbleed. That is a bit of a survival horror game right there.
Huh.
That is worth quite a bit of money, isn't it?
Yeah, so the thing is, it's a shitty game. It's not a very good game, but I think it's a lot of, because it's definitely trying to be a Resident Evil kind of game, but it adds a few elements that are a little different. Like in this game, you can die from being scared. It's kind of innovative in a few ways. Like they have like a heart monitor basically, and they have like all these different monitors of different things. And if something gets too spiked, you can literally die or whatever. And basically, the idea is you go to this horror-themed amusement park, and then you go into different theaters. And when you go into the theaters, you play the story out. From a concept, it sounds amazing. Just the delivery wasn't too good, and I bought it for $5.
And now
Nice.
it's worth how much?
Well, I was looking on Amazon lately, and the one I have, I don't have the box or anything, and as it is right there, like the CD by itself, it's about $120.
Holy
As
shit.
it's in
Damn.
If you happen to have it fully encased and like sealed, Amazon has it upwards of $280.
That's insane. That is
Wow.
insane.
Damn.
That is insane.
And I actually thought I lost it once upon a time, and I was like, I really want to play that game now. Because, of course, it's so expensive. I was such a whore about it.
How much is my burnt copy worth then? If that's worth so much. Is
I'll
that
give
like
you 45 cents.
all right, sold. I'll burn another one.
Not even enough to cover the cost of the disc.
Let's do that. So my next story is going to be Chex Quest HD. That's right. They have brought back. Oh, look at Ethan. He's so
I
excited.
heard about that. I'm
Chex
excited.
Quest, the Doom clone that was released on the back of the cereal boxes in the late 90s, I believe it was, maybe the mid 90s, which was literally a child-friendly Doom clone. That's all it was. FPS, go in, kill the gluey globs or whatever they're called, the green guys. And me and Ethan love this because of the Angry Video Game episode where he synced it up with Brutal Doom and just made it fucking hysterical.
Brutal chicks.
But they have re-released it in HD on Steam, and it is 100% free to play, just like the original. So it also has a multiplayer mode now, and it doesn't look half bad, and I have downloaded it. I'm ready to give it a try. So if you get a chance, check out the YouTube video at least. I think people are going to start playing this on Twitch, ironically. We might even give that a go and see how that goes. And the multiplayer, who knows? Maybe it's good. So if you remember Chex Quest, try this one out. So that's all the more I want to say. Just want to put it out there. Ethan, do you have anything on that?
Chex Quest is so much fun, especially if you get the Brutal Doom mod and put it in. You just get to explode those little aliens with fucking machine guns and rocket launchers, and it's so much fun. It's just so
Fucking A.
good.
All right, what's your next story, Ethan?
I said I wasn't going to bring this up every podcast, but I'm going to.
Every
Let's
time.
talk about Persona.
It's either Call of Duty or Persona every time.
fucking podcast.
Maybe a
So-
little Kingdom Hearts sprinkled in there.
I watched the podcast today on Persona on Wizard and the Bruiser, and they handled it exactly how I would handle it because, like me, neither one of them had ever played it when they covered it. So it was kind of fun. They literally got to learn about it. So I kind of did too.
Nice.
It's been around.
It's been around a long time, and it makes me really happy about this, that they've actually had record sales in the Western market. So the US and UK, they've sold a record number of games of Persona 5 Royal.
You said Numby.
Numby.
The record Numby.
I can't even cut that out. You said Numby, good sir. Me and Will both were like
They
Numby.
sold a
A
record.
record
You
number.
see, the UK, they sold a record Numby of Persona 5.
So they
Yes.
Murdered by Numbies. Looks like he's got your Numby.
Number 9. Number 9. Number 9.
Oh, okay, I'm good. I'm sorry.
Is Numby like the bizarro version of Gumby?
Gumby, yeah. Yeah. It's his arch nemesis.
And his eyes are like his balls, and like
Yeah. Numby and Bobby.
Oh, Jesus Christ! All right, how many numbies did he sell?
Is Gumby in Smash Brothers? I can't remember. Is he?
I hope so.
Oh God!
Tag out.
All right, is that it then? You just want to talk about the numbies that they sold?
For only being out for 2 months, though, and reaching record sales, that's fucking awesome, considering they were the 5th highest-selling game at launch and going up against titles such as Animal Crossing.
Yeah,
That's
no one
fucking
can
awesome.
compare to those numbies.
Those numbies, man.
I've seen some numbies before, but those are probably the most impressive numbies.
Those are super impressive.
Those numbies are off the charts. They're numbilicious.
Have you guys talked about the new Mortal Kombat stuff coming out?
That was going to be my last topic was
Yeah.
Well,
about.
then let's jump
Bring it
right
up.
into that.
Yeah. So what's up?
So I saw this really funny fake article, and it has it had the front, and they keep showing up these articles of like whatever the next 3 characters are, and it's one where they had 2 characters, and then they go and Malcolm and Dewey from Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
What?
literally I rarely do this, but I was drinking something at the time, and it literally shot through my nose. So hard. But on a real note, I like the fact that they have RoboCop, and now everyone gets to have their favorite battle. They literally get to see RoboCop versus Terminator.
There
That's
is
gonna be fun.
already a
Bro.
beautiful trailer of Terminator versus RoboCop. I think it came out today. The Mortal Kombat guys put out themselves,
That
just
That's
showing some
awesome.
gameplay between the two.
That 100% was not an accident. That is
Yeah.
totally.
So with that Mortal Kombat X, they stuck really hard with like horror movie icons. Do you think they're going to kind of keep that pattern going with Mortal Kombat 11 and keep doing like 80s movie stars and heroes and stuff like that?
No, there's one they're missing.
Sean?
Yeah, Ash. But
Ash.
that week where they have it could be completely fake, but they have that thing where it has like Ash Williams' property of blah blah blah. But it could just be trolling. But
You could be Ash on Dead by Daylight.
true. Yeah, it's Ash is like probably. I think Ed Boon said at this point he has literally been the most requested DLC since Mortal Kombat 9. So that came out almost 10 years ago.
With all the stuff they've had coming out and leaking about Ash, there's no way he can't not be coming to the game at this point.
What about
just-
Shaggy?
Like,
Scooby-Doo-
well,
from
God, I'm glad
Scooby-Doo?
that died.
Are you
That was
talking
Yeah.
stupid.
Wait, time out. What?
man, Scorpion, you're just asking for an ass kicking, man.
No, well, they
Get
did-
him, Scoob.
I
Look,
thought
they
you
make
meant-
it wacky, like godlike levels. I'm like, look, Chuck Norris, I'll take, but we're not doing Shaggy.
I thought you meant the wasn't me guy. I was like, why would he be in that game?
That is who I was talking about. That yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I want a wasn't me Shaggy versus Shaggy from ICP.
Oh, yeah, that'd be sweet. I thought you said earlier Jean-Claude Van Damme is who was missing from Mortal Kombat.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought that was a good idea too, because that would bring it full circle. Because originally the original Mortal Kombat was built around death sport. Is that what it is? What is it?
Bloodsport.
Blood sport. Thank you. And so I was like, that would be great. That would actually be really cool to bring him in and to verse Johnny Cage. He's basically versing himself. That would be fucking badass.
So meta.
How do you feel about the cost of the DLC, Jay?
I feel like it's just like all the DLCs in the world. It's definitely a money grab. I think it's appalling and all that. But at the same time, if they told me it was going to cost $100 to get Ash, I'd probably get out the money if I had to, because I would be like, yeah, shut up and take my money. So it's all about what you're willing to pay. This new one I think is like $60 for all these guys, the Aftermath, and you get like the characters, and I think you get an additional part of the storyline too. That's games now. That's game. You're not paying for games anymore. You're paying for a lifestyle.
Pretty much.
That's the way I look at it. I mean, in every one of these games, like Animal Crossing is the same way. Can't you buy stuff for that?
No.
You can't?
It's
That's
all
not true
encompassing.
anymore. There are people that actually have online stores where you can
that's
buy
like-
resources.
That's like black market, yes, but
Hey,
Nintendo is not
Animal
doing
Crossing
microtransactions.
Black Market, man, that still counts.
I'm surprised they're not doing microtransactions.
They tend
Yeah.
to avoid it on their big consoles. They really rack it up on the phone games, though. The Mario Run and the Mario Kart on the phone.
So that's where you do
Pocket
the
Camp.
microtransactions.
Yeah.
And everybody's got a phone. Not everyone's got a console. So,
and we were talking about how they did it with Smash Brothers. We talked about this in the last episode, was how they did that with a lot of the costumes and stuff, but they had no choice but to do that because the fans were already doing it and creating games such as Project M and stuff like that. People were already putting the skins on there and allowing you to insert a memory card into the Wii to be able to do that. So Nintendo saw that opportunity and ran with it. And I think it was wise of them to do. One last thing I do want to say is if you get a chance, go to your web browser and look up Orb Farm. It is a virtual aquarium, a virtual 8-bit aquarium. You'll be all about this. And give it a try. It is weird and very relaxing. So that will
Already
be
there.
Other than that, do you guys want to talk about anything else before we shut this down?
Unless
Some good releases in June.
Yeah, what's coming out in June?
Fortnite's new Chapter 2 Season 3 starts on the 4th. The Outer Worlds will be out on the Switch on the 5th. Paper Mario just dropped on the 17th of June.
Is that the origami one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that came out of nowhere, didn't it? No one really knew
And
that.
then Last of Us 2 will be the next one on the 19th.
Ooh, Ethan's all about
That one's going to be a little decisive. When the leak came out, there was a lot of people that took a look at him and was like, okay, I'm not buying this game anymore. All of a sudden. I haven't looked at the leaks personally.
You know what? Those people had already made their decision on that game. I can't buy into that. That's that whole toxic gamer sort of bullshit. Just because I'm not going to say anything because it will ruin. Like it's hard to say something without spoiling anything.
Let me ask you this: did you read or watch the leaks?
I saw everything. Yeah,
He had to. He had to. It's required for his job.
Yeah. No, I totally did. And the things that people were saying, man, I don't know how to say it. It was just the crappy misogynistic gamers. That's who wanted to say things, and that's who did say things. So that game's going to be amazing.
So when's that releasing again?
The 19th.
Yeah. The first one was great. I loved that one. The whole scene with the giraffe, the bond between Joel and Ellie.
Spoilers!
Oh, I'm sorry. There's an animal in there. Okay.
A giraffe? I know it.
There's zombies.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Giraffe zombies?
Giraffe zombies.
So,
that would be dope.
Any other games, Will, that you want to mention?
I think that's pretty much all the big ones for June. Little things like the new Command & Conquer is going to be popping off. Rock of Ages 3, if you're real excited for that. Other than that, that's pretty much it.
Rock of Ages, what's that?
You are a giant orb. Generally, you start as a rock, but of course there's 50,000 skins you can unlock, and you just roll down hills and destroy houses and people and all that stuff. So it's like a wacky anti-Katamari where you're smashing things instead of collecting.
It's fun.
It is. It's fun.
Bro,
for an hour.
If it's like Katamari, I'm so fucking there. Katamari is like one of my favorites.
Katamari you're building, and this one you're destroying.
You're destroying it. It's a
Dude,
lot of fun.
I'm there. I've played every Katamari game. I just love that shit. I can't get enough of it.
Did y'all ever play any of the Mafia games, 1, 2, or 3?
I have.
Yeah, I've dabbled in it.
They're releasing the trilogy. They are completely remaking the first Mafia. The trailer for it dropped a few days ago, and it looks amazing. They are remastering Mafia 2, and they're bundling it with Mafia 3. So right now you can get the definitive edition of Mafia 2 remastered and Mafia 3. The first one, the remake, will be coming out soon.
Sweet.
So, and it looks good.
I think that's where we're at on our gaming news roundup. I just want to say thank you, Will, and thank you, Jay, for joining us.
Thank you, guys.
It's been great. Hopefully we do this again. I think this worked out really well. This has been Duck, and I have also been here with
Ethan.
And I got to remind everyone something, though, real quick. It's everyone who's listening, you got to remember something. You got to know something.
You got to know it.
You ain't Billy Mitchell, bitch. Just stop trying. All right, see you guys next time. That's our tagline. What do you want?
Thank you again, Will and Jay, for joining us on this episode of We Are Bagu. Here on the We Are Podcast Network, head on over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, or iTunes, and give us a like. And if you enjoyed this, you're going to love the other podcasts here in the network. We have We Are Error. We talk movies, entertainment, whatever the fuck we want to talk about. That's me, that's Jake, and that's Hobbs, and we're talking that pop culture. Also, Heroes, Gyros, a Dungeons and Distractions side quest. Me and the boys were playing some D&D. Go to the very beginning of that campaign. Check out all that craziness. And I Hate Being Sober. Personal stories from epic people, where I sit down with some of my favorite people on this planet and we talk about their life, we talk about their trials and tribulations, and we just have a great conversation. Head on over to our social media. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at /WeArePodcast. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you've enjoyed the podcast today, please share it with your friends. It's the only way we can grow this network. But even if you are sharing, I need you to remember one thing. You can never forget this. You ain't Billy Mitchell, bitch. So you gotta stop trying. Just stop.